Thanks for selling your car to Carvana. Here's your check.
Whoa, when did I get here?
What do you mean?
I swear it was just moments ago that I accepted a great offer from Carvana online. I must have time traveled to the future.
It was just moments ago. We do same-day pickup. Here's your check for that great offer.
It is the future.
It's the present and just the convenience of Carvana. Sorry to blow your mind.
It's all good. Happens all the time.
Sell your car the convenient way to
Carvana.
Pickup times may vary and fees may apply.
Pro Savings Days are back at Lowe's. My Lowe's Pro Rewards members save even more with limited-time doorbuster deals. Save $5 on 24-count Contractor's Choice 42-gallon trash bags, now just $14.78. Plus, get your choice select DeWalt Elite Series saw blades for $9.98. Not a Pro Rewards member? Join for free today at Lowe's. Valid through 9/17. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowes.com/terms for details. Subject to change.
Billy P. from the D and Chet here. Thank you all for listening to Litterbox, a Detroit Tigers podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you never miss an episode. We love hearing your thoughts, too. Leave us a rating or just drop us a comment. Please let us know what you think and whatever you want us to cover next. Your feedback really helps us grow and keeps the Tigers talk rolling all season long. Go Tigers, and thank you.
Look, we get it, Tiger fans. We know the baseball season can be a grind. Luckily, when you're ready to trade hot dogs for tailgates, we've got you covered with Litterbox, a Detroit Lions podcast. It's the same unfiltered Detroit sports talk you get here, just with more biting kneecaps and fewer bullpen meltdowns. So when Sunday rolls around, don't just pace around like AJ Hinch waiting for a reliever. Fire up Litterbox, a Detroit Lions podcast, wherever you're listening now, and roar with us through the NFL season. You're listening to The Litterbox, a Detroit Tigers podcast, with your hosts, Chet West and Bill Patterson. Litterbox listeners, we are getting into the dog days here. The end of the season is right around the corner. September baseball coming at you. So when you thread these games in between all the football games, just know we'll be here to keep covering. We're going to do a 2-series coverage today. We're going to gloss over that wonderful Yankees series where the Tigers took 2 out of 3. And then we're going to jump into the Marlins series where they didn't take 2 out of 3. They only got 1. And we kind of predicted, I think if Bill, going back, if we said we'd come off these 6 games at 500, we'd probably been pretty happy. Because I think you and I were kind of shading to the fact that we were going to lose both these series and things were going to get dicey down the stretch in the standings. Do you have any initial thoughts?
Before we get into these ball games against the Yankees and Marlins, I want to bring up an outing that Chet and I had. Chet had an awesome discovery at the ballpark. I'll let him speak a little bit more on this, but instead of having to go the steam box, let's call it, where the hot dog vendor brings it to you, Chet found something even better, and it's called the grab and go cooler. We know that's where you get ice cold refreshments like beer, seltzers. I don't know, if you want to get a iced tea or something like that, you can as well, alcoholic or non-alcoholic. But what we didn't know is that they also have I don't know if we want to call it a heater box, a slight oven with hot dogs just marinating in their own juices, wrapped in foil.
I was suspect of the quality. So I said to myself, grab 2 of these. So I went in there. It's like one of these like kiosks at Wrigley where you can buy, you give them your card and you walk up, buy what you want, and they somehow charge your card for the accurate amount as you just walk on out. All right. So I get in there and I see, okay, we're going to grab a beer, whatever. And then I look over and I see this beautiful row of foil wrapped hot dogs. And I see, I'm really hungry. And I need to see if one of these is the same quality I'm getting out of the old steamer box over there. Somehow, the encased meats artisans at Wrigley Field figured out how to get the same feel, the same texture, the same flavor from these, what I will call like heated shelves were these little dumplings all sat next to each other on a shelf. I grabbed two. I took them to the seat, and lo and behold, they tasted exactly like they came out of the steamer box that the guys used to walk around the stadium with, still walk around the stadium with, I believe, if I saw correctly. And I had two of these things, and it was like, I'm home. I haven't had a hot dog like that in so long. So I ran back and I got two more immediately. And I had four. And I started thinking to myself, could I do the 9-inning deal? And I said, no, Chet, stop now. Don't wreck yourself for the rest of the day. And I stopped there at 4, but I kept looking back at that steamer shelf every time we walked by it, thinking, one more, maybe? I decided against it. I'm not 25 years old anymore. So I got my 4 hot dogs, and they were lovely. Bill, I'm glad you brought that up. That was an opportunity there.
Did you dress them with anything?
I put nothing on them. If I had dressed them with anything, it would have completely and totally ruined the experiment.
Okay.
That you have to go bareback on those, because I'm telling you, there's a flavor in there. There's a natural, it's like they've been marinating in their own juices. You don't need to put anything on them.
It's like
I don't want any of the cheap stuff they got to put on them.
Hot dog sweat soaking into the bun.
Hot dog sweat almost soaking into the bun. And they do congeal together. I have a picture. I'm holding one, and you can tell exactly what I'm talking about. And I did stuff them in the pockets of my shorts for easy carry while I was carrying my 2 beers too. So that's all I can give you. They're as good as the steamer boxes ever were. I'm extremely impressed. I was very suspicious of that kiosk and how the whole thing works. The technology is over even my head, but the hot dogs are still pure, people. They're still pure.
So basically, AI is now taking over the hot dog vendors.
They're AI hot dogs. Is that what they are? Are they AI hot dogs? Is that what we're calling them? At any rate, they were great. And kudos to Wrigley for figuring out how to bottle that essence and put it on a shelf-served hot dog, not out of a steamer box.
The friendly confines of hot dogs.
There's still hope for this world. There's still hope.
I have a fun fact for you.
Perfect.
Since the old Yankee Stadium opened, including the new Yankee Stadium, which was in 1921, no team has ever gone in and scored 10 or more runs in 2 straight games until your 2025 Detroit Tigers.
That is incredible.
Beat the New York Yankees last Tuesday, the 9th, 12-2. They followed that performance up on September 10th, winning 11-1. And then, as we predicted, 9/11 is a very sacred and important day to New Yorkers, as it rightfully should be. There's something really special and awesome about the New York Yankees wearing the Fire Department of New York hats. And the Tigers lost the 9/11 game 3-9. And Yankee Stadium was full. It was a very symbolic gesture. The President of the United States was there. And I can live with that. Taking the first 2 out of 3 was unreal, because the Yankees have a real problem, Chet. They aren't the only team in the American League that has an awful bullpen. And the Tigers capitalized on that. And it gives me hope, should we face the Yankees in the postseason, that bullpen isn't all there and there's runs for the getting.
I think something interesting that the trade deadline kind of told us is that each one of these teams that are in competition right now for the playoff spots all kind of suffer from some of the same stuff. We get some sketchy starts and we get some bad bullpen outings. And that's typically where the problems lie. Runs aren't usually a problem. If you go back and look at our games against the Yankees, we got 2 good starts. What did we do with those starts? We won those 2 games and we piled runs on. In the 3rd game, we decided to do something a little different and go with a little pitcher by committee deal there, and it blew up in our face. Bill, thoughts?
You and I have said this numerous times. I bet we're on a half dozen. We don't love the chaos theory.
Not anymore.
It's wasting valuable innings that Tyler Holton could contribute. Is your one left-handed hard-throwing arm in the bullpen. Sawyer Gipson-Long was awful. I mean, he was nothing short of terrible. I have long-term concerns about him being a viable piece of this team, not only in 2025, but 2026, 2027. Here's why, Chet. He lacks any and all control. It's not one thing. If it was one pitch that he can't figure out his split finger, he can't figure out his slider. Chet, he doesn't have control, he doesn't have control over all 4 pitches equally. It's like an equal opportunity lack of control, which is really, really frustrating for somebody that's had multiple cups of coffee and who the franchise and team believes in. And he's starting to become one of those players that I almost think a change of scenery is probably the only thing that's really going to help this, because it seems to be getting worse, not better.
Yeah. He came on late. Came into the season late after a long injury, and he kind of needs just a long stint at AAA to figure things out, probably. Is really, in the end, what's needed. The chaos theory was cute last year. It isn't cute this year.
No, the cuteness is worn.
I feel like we need to be beyond it a little bit. And it's no shock to me that we lost that game. We have 9 runs in the first 3 innings. So there you go. And by utilizing Holton in that position, you lose his high leverage availability later on. And I felt pretty optimistic about the lack of bullpen use the previous 2 games because they were so lopsided in the Tigers' win favor that flying from New York down to Miami for the weekend series, I thought, hey, we had a rested bullpen. Things look good until everything went to hell in a handbasket 9-11. And so we go down Friday the 12th, play the Marlins, and in the 4th inning, we get really bad news. Tarek Skubal is experiencing tightness in his side and his oblique, and he's not sharp, Chet. There was something wrong from the word go in that game. He's giving up runs. First 2 innings, gave up 3 runs, gave up another one in the 4th there. I think that something was going wrong. They say he's fine, right?
They had an MRI, which is very comprehensive, and he has a clean bill of health. He is scheduled to start the 18th against Cleveland at home, which will be this Thursday. So let's hope he's okay. He was not right. And it seemed like the Tigers lost a little bit of their mojo and psyche when he exited. So that was an 8-2 loss. Saturday's game was really frustrating, Chet, and I'm going to explain why. It was an extra innings game. The Tigers left so many men in scoring position. I believe they went 3 for 14 that day. So it was just, the opportunities were there and they just couldn't capitalize on it. And they ended up losing in 11 innings, 6-4 to the Marlins. That's the one that got away. And that's what frustrates this fan, and I'm sure you as well, for the fact that that would have been the difference between taking 4 of these 6 games on a tough East Coast swing where you had your off day on Monday. You had to fly from New York down to Miami, 2 very different teams. You're playing in front of full houses at one of the, let's call it high churches in all of Major League Baseball. You could hear a pin drop at the Marlins game. You didn't have to tune in to know.
It's a very different environment.
Yeah. And so that one was there for the taking. They didn't take it. However, what impressed me was yesterday, the Tigers rebounded 2-0 and salvaged, as you mentioned, a series split and held court. What's up next is a season within a season, Chet, and that is 3 games at home, the 16th, 17th, and 18th against the Cleveland Guardians. The good news is we've got the 3 guys I'd want pitching on the bump. We don't have any chaos going. We've got Mize, then we've got Flaherty, and then we've got Scoobs. So it's as good as we could hope for. The Guardians are now 6.5 back. They've been red hot. They are 9-1 in their last 10. They essentially knocked the Royals out of this, so it's a 2-team race. With that, the Tigers are still in 9.9% chance to make the playoffs. The Guardians are only an 11% chance as of today. I still don't like this, Chet.
This is what the odds don't take into consideration here, is the tenor around both of these teams and the fact that all the pressure is on Detroit and very little of it on Cleveland right now. Cleveland really wasn't banking on a playoff spot this year. As of, a couple months ago when the season got off to such a raucous start and Detroit took such a huge lead in the division. But now, here we are, 6.5 games up. We got 6 games against the second place team. And we also have to play Atlanta and Boston threaded in between there. This is going to be a very difficult Final Four series of the season for us to handle. We need a strong start against Cleveland. We need to get off to a very strong start here in these 3 home games against them. I don't feel great if we don't get at least 2.
We cannot rely on the Skubal start. If they lose the first 2 and we're banking on the Skubal start to make things right, I am very, very apprehensive for what happens next. And I will eat a little bit of crow here. On July the 6th, the Tigers completed a sweep of the Cleveland Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
In Cleveland, over the 4th of July, the 5th of July, and the 6th of July. And at that point, I said, stick a fork in them, they're done.
Not quite. Not quite. They could have been if we had won more games down the stretch, but we've brought them back into the fold. We've brought them back to life here, I think.
Given them
would be the accurate way of, we gave them a reason to live.
So anyhow, that's the funny part. Sellers at the trade deadline, and interesting, a couple players were suspended for gambling allegations from their bullpen, and the Guardians have been red hot. It's one of these.
Still keep going.
Yeah, addition by subtraction. And my guy, Stephen Kwan's going to probably just be a pest the entire series. And I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, this is why we tune in. This is why we love sports. And I just hope that the Tigers emerge victorious on this and don't, give away the division to the Guardians yet again.
Well, I'm not ready to sign it all off. One thing that we can take out of this, one positive that will come from this, regardless, if we make the playoffs at the end of this stretch of 12 games coming up here, if we make the playoffs, we are going to be battle tested for the playoffs. We will have gone through a very tense stretch here. This will have us ready mentally. If we were coming close to in 15 games up and playing the way we are and we hit the playoffs, I don't know. I can see us early exit. But if we can keep our lead and we can get ourselves in the playoffs still with the 12 games we got left, I think we'll be battle tested enough to be awake and ready to play playoff baseball. That's about the only silver lining I can pull from this, because we got to get it together here. The bullpen, the starting pitching, we got to get it together and hope to God I don't see any more chaos out there.
Agreed. So, Tigers fans, we will be back with you after this Guardians series, and let's hope for the best. If you're listening to this pod, A, thank you. B, we know you're a dedicated Tigers fan. Just enjoy these next 3 games. It's going to be a lot of fun. We know football started. We know there's other things going on, but I'm really, really looking forward to these next 3 games at home against the Guardians.
Season comes down to right now.
And I hope you all enjoy it as well. With that, go Tigers.
All right. That's going to do it for this episode of The Litter Box, a Detroit Tigers podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us. We're Bill and Chet, and we'll be back soon with more Tigers talk. If you're enjoying the show, be sure to follow or subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. And hey, if you got a minute, leave us a quick review. Till next time, go Tigers.